Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. I'm Daniel Rivette from Abundant Harvest Church of God, and I want to tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, we had a older woman from our church. I'd known her all my life. She was actually my godmother, and she came and lived with us later on. And when she got on in years, she wanted to be close to the family, close to Bishop and Dr. Rivette, and it was wonderful for me because I had never had a grandmother before. My grandmothers had passed before I was born. Now, Sister Lise Morency, she's passed on, many years now. I believe well over 20 years now, and but she's not forgotten. And I learned a very valuable lesson from her when I was very young. I remember there were some bananas on the counter, and I was going to go eat a banana, but there were a few that were overly ripe. They looked like they were done. They were brown and mushy and soft, and I said, "Oh, these are ruined. They need to go in the garbage." And I was going to throw them away, and she stopped me, and she said, No. She said, "Let me see those, Daniel." She took them and said, "These are perfect." And I looked, I said, "Perfect for what?" "Perfect for going in the garbage. These things are mushy. They are trash. They are no good to be eaten. No one's going to want to eat these." But then I watched, and she smiled, and she took them away. I watched her in the kitchen, and she peeled off the skins, and she placed them in a bowl, and she put some milk in and some sugar, a little flour, I think, maybe some vanilla extract. Whatever she did to those bananas, she began to mix them, and then she fried them up into these banana fritters, and then she sprinkled a little sugar on top of them. And I'm going to tell you, in my memories of the best things that I ever had growing up, eating the best tasting things, it was those little banana fritters, and they were incredible. I remember eating them, and then every time we got bananas, I couldn't wait for some to go bad so that she would be able to use them and make these fritters. I want to encourage you today because I want to let you know, and the Lord wants you to know, that people don't really know. They really don't have an understanding of what they're looking at when they look at you. They don't really have an understanding of what they're looking at when they look at the people around them, or even when they look at themselves. They don't see their own value. They don't see what's really in them. They see one thing, but they don't see the rest. They might not even see how everything comes together. Sure enough, I know there are plenty of people who will sit there and say that you can't do that, you're too old. You can't do that, you're too young. You can't do that, you're too dumb. You're not good enough. You're not spiritual enough. You're not good looking enough. There are lots of things that people can tell us about what we can and we can't do. But when you're in the right hands, when you're in the proper hands, anything is possible, and things beyond even what you think would be incredible for you to do, you will be able to do. So who are the right hands? To be in the right hands is to be in the Lord's hands. To be in the Lord's hands isn't just saying, "Oh, I believe in God." Saying you believe is one thing. And as I have said before, as it's written in James, it says you say that you believe and you do well to believe. Even the devils believe. But yet at least the devils have enough sense to tremble at the name of the Lord. But as humans, we tend to be a lot more arrogant because God is good to us. He is good to us. And even in times such as these, when people are blaming God for everything, it's still a time where we need to come to our senses and really think, how can I blame God when I haven't listened to anything He's told me to do? Right now we're seeing the Bible unfold before us, prophecy unfolding, and it's a wonderful time to be here. And the Lord has said, though, in Isaiah 41 and verse 10, He said, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will hold on to you with my righteous right hand." So if you come to Christ, you accept Christ, and then you say, "Hey, I'm with you. Now, what next? Guide me, lead me." Well, there's a way for that to happen. You see, I've heard there's a saying that the old folks would say, and they'd say, "Jesus, take the wheel." And I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Jesus will not be taking the wheel. He does not take the wheel. But we do know in Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways. Consider him in everything that you do, everything that you're plotting, everything that you're planning. Consider the Lord first. And he will guide you on the right paths. So Jesus is not your driver. You are not exempt from the work that must be done. You will definitely have pain in life, but you will always have joy in the morning. He will always keep you. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. But when you're riding with Jesus, when Jesus is in the car with you, because when, like I said, you've come to Christ, you said, Jesus, I want you to ride with me. Be with me always. Cool. Every time it's time to get in the car, Jesus says, it's time to drive. Let's go. I get in the car, and there's comfort in knowing that I don't even have to know how to get anywhere because Jesus knows where I need to be. And if I listen to him, he will guide me. It's like he's your GPS and your friend. And he's sitting next to you and he's telling you which way to go. Go this way, don't go that way. It's time to pull over. It's time to get on the highway. It's time for you to stop driving for a little while. And the beautiful thing about it is that as you trust in the Lord with all your heart and not rely on your own understanding, you'll see that you'll arrive at destinations that you never thought you'd arrive at. You'll see that you end up meeting people that you never thought you'd meet. You'll see that you receive things that you never thought you'd receive, opportunities that you never thought would happen. There are plenty of people who tell you about, they have tremendous success. But at the same time, they'll tell you about all the failures they had. And I'm here to submit to you that if they had trusted in the Lord, they could have had even greater successes and less failures because he guides us, he leads us. Yes, he will let everything form us and shape us along the way, but he will not allow you, he won't let you get stopped and get a ticket. If you get stopped and Jesus is in the car, you're not getting a ticket. Matter of fact, you might get invited to the policeman's ball or something like that. It's like, oh, you're riding with Jesus? Oh, okay. Sorry to stop you. Here's a voucher for some extra gas or something. Well, and also keep this in mind. Jesus will guide you, but you, in the end, have to drive. You've got to do your part. You've got to do your work. You've got to put in the praying time. You've got to put in the Bible reading time. You've got to put in the study time. You've got to put your time into seeking the Lord. Say, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What direction should I be turning in? Who should I be associating with? Should I be dealing with this project? Should I be doing this? Lord, I need guidance, and he will guide you. The Bible tells us that if you lack wisdom, ask the Lord for wisdom, and he will give it to you in abundance. He loves making people wise, loves giving them wisdom. Remember, wisdom is going to be the application of knowledge. All right? Now, one last thing before I end this brief word of encouragement to you all is there's a little bit of comfort when you come to Christ. Well, actually, a lot of comfort when you come to Christ, because when you come to him, he looks at your car and says, okay, you're not going to drive this. I'm going to give you a new car. And you're riding in this new car with Jesus. It might not look new, but it's new to you. It might look new, it might not look new, but you just know it's a different car that he gave you. And you might wonder why he gave you that car until you start doing stupid things on the road because he's giving you directions and you're not listening. He's telling you go this way and you're trying to go another way. He's telling you get off the highway here and you don't want to get off the highway. And now he's telling you to pull over, you look tired, you don't want to pull over, and then you almost crash. And you look, and before you can even say Jesus, you realize when you look down, he had a brake on his side. The Lord will not let you crash and burn as long as you remain with him. He will not let you destroy yourself as long as you continue to trust in him. I hope this word has been encouraging to you. And I pray that we'll be able to put out more material like this, maybe continue on a similar path with the next word. All right, again, be blessed. Good night.